we'll study about how to go, like there are few criteria how to choose for a cloud service provider. So like whenever any organization goes for a particular service, why they go for, there are like few criteria are there, common criteria. Obviously, every organization, their evaluation process, their needs will be different, but it will be same thing. Like it will be some common areas will be there based on which we can have a evaluation. So we'll study that common areas today. Okay, so just let me share the slide. Okay. So we'll be studying about the criteria for selecting a cloud service provider. So like when it comes to like effectively find like to benefit from that cloud service provider, we have this 8 criteria. Okay, 8 criteria. That means it has been grouped into 8 criteria. This can be anything, but for our simplicity, for our understanding, this has been grouped into these 8 criteria. So first is the certification and standards. Next is the technologies and service roadmap. Third is the data security, data governance, and business policies. Next is service dependencies and partnerships, contracts, commercials and SLAs, reliability and performance, migration support, vendor lock-in and exit planning, business health, and company profile. Now let's take these things one by one. So moving the first criteria, certification and standards. So whenever we go for the any providers, we should always see, we don't know anything about it, we go for the certification, how these companies are, whether they are certified or not, whether they, because when it means that this company are certified means they comply with certain standards, they follow the industry practices, what is what the government has laid, right? So we kind of tend to believe these people that they won't fake us, they won't like loot us or something. They will give the genuine product because they are working with the standards, they are certified. So in any shop also, if you go for buying anything or you go for online shopping also, if you find this is certified product, then we feel the assurance that the product will be good. Okay, so for here also I've just mentioned. So today's class will be more like a theoretical only. So like nothing's to explain much because these are the standards or basically criteria. So that's you see that providers that comply with recognized standards and quality frameworks demonstrate a compatibility or adherence. Adherence means a commitment to industry best practices and standards. Okay, so we understand that when we go for Flipkart also, suppose we are going for Flipkart. Okay, even though like first we go for the reviews and everything, but we also make sure that it is Flipkart assured, F assured is written. Okay, why do we go for? Because we know when it is assured, this system is there, it can be, it will receive a good product. Okay, so such kind of things like certifications, and after that we go for the reviews, number of stars, and then the comments and everything. But first we check whether it is Flipkart assured or not. Okay, now while standards may not determine which service provider you choose, they can be very helpful in shortlisting potential suppliers. See, when we go for any product also, see, here we are talking about cloud, but in normal case also, we can apply some filters, right? Why do we apply filters in online shopping? Suppose we are applying filters. So we may not be like that we not be able to determine the exact which product we'll go for, but yes, we can have a shortlisting type, we go for filtration so that we get the genuine products, right? So we go for, suppose we go for the filter in Flipkart, we have filter option is there, I think many of you have used. So here you will go for Flipkart assured, and then you will list other criteria. Probably you are going for laptop, so you will mention your criteria, which companies that maybe you want Dell company, so you give that filters which particular like brands you want, whether you want Dell, whether you want HP. So all that brands will only appear. So what we are doing, we are going for shortlisting. So this helps in this filtration helps in shortlisting, though we not get that, this may not be assured that we are getting the we are choosing that particular one only, but we can shortlist it, and then from that shortlisted part we can find our required product. Okay, so in cloud, if we are going for a security, if we think that security is our priority, then we should make sure that ISO 27001 or the government cyber essential schemes, they are certified. So whenever you see any advertisement or if you see your any product, whether it's like simple, maybe uh, like any like sanitizer or something, if you see like now back of the product, you see the specifications written. If you see ISO certified, so obviously you know the products fulfill certain criteria, right? It had gone through certain process. Similarly, for security, we have this ISO 27001 for security, but for these numbers may vary for different purposes. So I'm not sure about the numbers. So basically, this you can think of the standard ISO 27001 is the security one. Or if you follow any guide like Cyber Essential Scheme, they go for the if they are like certified in that, follow the particular standard. We understand that. Okay, Sanjay is waiting. Just wait. We understand that they are like this cloud service provider is safe. We should is safe, and we can go for it because they are certified. Okay, so here are few examples. Here are few like standard organizations like we go for. Here we'll start all this is DMTF like, and then ISO, SNIA, NIST, IEEE, IETF, all these things. Open Grid Forum will be studying about this things like all about the standard organization in module 4. Okay, so module 4 will comprise of all these things. So just you see the name for this one. We'll study about it this in module 4. Later, like more generally, what should we go for the certification and standards process? We should look for in any certification, like if you have in your CV also, like you are certified with CCNA, you are certified Oracle certified, you are like Sun Systems software, maybe Java certified. So probably like being certified from anything is not like if you get like simply that has no value. Maybe anywhere you can just give money and get the certificate is not valuable, right? So they should have like a brand, like maybe Cisco certified. So this is a brand, Cisco certified, Sun certified. Then we have Red Hat and everything. So if you have this proper certification where you cannot maybe NPTEL, I think NPTEL courses, I told you last semester also that you should go for the NPTEL certifications, and it is the courses are free, and only you have to pay 1000. So NP for the exam, if you want to go for exam, so that's this the thing. So we should go for the proper certification. We should not go for like any other. Similarly, when we go for the cloud certifications and standards, when we look for it, we should check whether it's like whether it's the standards maintain the effective data management, whether the management has good knowledge and service status. So all the like how the provider plans to resource and support the continuous growth of the standards. So they should take care of this things. The standards and certifications falls under this part. Okay, so see, we are talking in terms of the cloud service provider, but if you want to understand, if you want to write in your own, so you can think like before going for any product also, before choosing going for any online products or anything, we go for like the brands, right? Because on online we cannot physically touch the product and check whether it's like suitable or not, whether it's like if the product will be genuine or not, because lots of things like online is easy, but online is not also safe. So we should go for that thing. So similarly, for because see, cloud service providers, we go for we need when someone goes for the private cloud, they or hybrid or community, they pay a like huge amount of money, right? So that is why we should like verify the criteria, and then only we can go for it. So next is the technologies and service roadmap. So first we'll talk about the technology. So here it's like okay, Dipesh, you have a question? Yes, Dipesh.
मैम हम लोगों ने मैम कोर्सेरा से मैम कुछ सर्टिफिकेट किए तो मैम उसका वैलिडेशन होगा कि नहीं होगा मैम?
हाँ, कोर्सेरा होगा. कोर्सेरा होगा, तुम्हारा वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। जैसे बहुत सारे कोर्सेरा में, क्योंकि वहाँ पे यूनिवर्सिटी से फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी होता है, अगर लेकिन कोर्सेरा में देखो, अगर वो तुम्हारे ऊपर है, कोर्सेरा में जो सपोज ऑनलाइन भी तुम डीप लर्निंग और डीप न्यूरल नेटवर्क उसके ऊपर अगर तुम करते हो, तो ऑनलाइन अगर खुद से करते हो वो तुम्हारे बेनिफिट होगा, राइट। लेकिन अगर तुमने सिर्फ कॉपी पेस्ट करके कर दिया, वो सर्टिफिकेट के बारे में अगर तुम्हारे सीवी में है, लेकिन अगर तुम्हें पूछ रहे तुम्हें कुछ भी नहीं आता, तो तुम्हारा वो वैल्यू नहीं है। लेकिन क्योंकि कोर्सेरा एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है, क्योंकि हम लोग असाइनमेंट ऑटोमेटिकली ग्रेड होता है, राइट। लेकिन जो एनपीटीएल वगैरह है, वहाँ पे तुम्हें एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर में जाके एग्जाम देना होता है। तो this means वैसे तो मतलब वैल्यू है हर सर्टिफिकेट का, लेकिन अगर तुम कैसे, क्योंकि कोर्सेरा इज लाइक बेसिकली टाइप हाउ यू लर्न द थिंग्स। ओके, इवैल्यूएशन असाइनमेंट जो होता है वो अपने आप ही करते हैं हम लोग, राइट। जैसे उनका ऑटोमेटिक गेटअप, या कोई भी तुम ऑनलाइन फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी का, क्योंकि कोर्सेरा में जो है डीप लर्निंग डॉट एआई का है, उसके बाद क्लाउड का भी बहुत सारे कोर्सेस है कि मैंने खुद किया हुआ है। तो ऐसे होता है, असाइनमेंट्स बहुत टफ होता है। अगर तुम खुद से करते हो तो ऑब्वियसली अगर तुम आंसर कर पाते हो, यू आर लाइक गुड एनफ। बट जो वैल्यू देते हैं यहाँ पे, जो वैल्यू दिया जाता है बेसिकली वो एनपीटीएल का कोर्स में ही दिया जाता है। क्योंकि देखो, एक तो है कि तुम्हें एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर में जाके पढ़ाना, मतलब एग्जाम देना होता है, और वहाँ पे मतलब प्रॉपर जैसे एग्जाम होता है गेट वेट का, वैसा ही होता है। असाइनमेंट दिया जाता है एवरी वीक, और वो चेक करके आता है, मतलब इजीली, और मतलब इसीलिए वैल्यू होता है उसमें। लेकिन कोर्सेरा अगर तुम खुद से नहीं करते हो, अगर नेट, क्योंकि सभी यही होता है, गूगल से ही करते हैं। अगर खुद अपने आप करते हो, तो दीपेश तुमने क्या अपने आप किया था खुद? अगर अपने आप किया था तो मतलब तुमने कुछ सीखा है, लेकिन अगर गूगल से हेल्प लेते हो कोई फायदा नहीं है। मतलब अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए वो इजी होता है। तो इसीलिए कोर्सेरा जो है वो प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेस बेसिकली जो होता है, मतलब अगर कंपनी जो कंपनी में करते हैं, तो उन्हें डे टू डे, क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजीज अपग्रेड करना पड़ता है, अपने आप को भी अपग्रेड करना पड़ता है, तो उस बेसिस में उनके लिए इजी हो जाता है। जो ऑलरेडी सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर है वो ऑलरेडी कोर्सेरा में जाके वो कर सकते हैं, राइट। वो अपना टेक्नोलॉजी, अच्छा ठीक है। लेकिन बेस्ड लाइक व्हाट द स्टूडेंट्स टेंड टू डू, दे गेट ओके, दे वांट द सर्टिफिकेट्स, so they what directly copy from Google, the codes are available if you are specially going for the कोडिंग पार्ट। तो और कोर्सेरा में आई थिंक सिस्को का भी, आई थिंक सिस्को, हाँ सिस्को का भी एक है, नहीं आईबीएम रिलेटेड का कुछ कोर्स है नेटवर्किंग का। तो उसमें क्या होता है, सिर्फ प्रोग्रामिंग कुछ नहीं करना होता है, सिर्फ एमसीक्यूज होता है, क्लिक करते हो। तो अगर तुम प्रॉपरली लेक्चर्स व्यू करते हो एंड यू रियली फील दैट आई हैव लर्न समथिंग, देन इट विल वर्क फॉर यू। But anyways, like Coursera has value, so that, and in that Coursera certificates you add to your LinkedIn profile. So I think everyone has LinkedIn profile, right? If you don't have, you can create one. It's very good. It's a professional website where you can search for jobs. Yeah, people will contact you through. Anyone have LinkedIn profile? LinkedIn? How
Yes,
can
ma'am.
you? Yes, ma'am. Okay. So in this LinkedIn, you can just like write all the skills you have, all the certificates, certification courses you have. So probably you will get for freshers. See, for freshers, I believe like anything is not good. Any job portal is not good for freshers. Whether it's like Naukri, whether you talk about this LinkedIn and all things. But yes, for freshers, one thing is good, that is Indeed.com. Indeed.com, and also you have yeah, Indeed.com, and if you can get place in your college, like by via your college, that is a very good thing. Or you study by yourself, then just try to go for MCAT exam, and then clear MCAT, and then you will obviously get called by the companies. Okay, that's a little bit. You are now in 5th semester, but I think you should now high time prepare yourself, right? Because next like not next, after next year you'll be having your interviews. I don't know like how this campus placements will be going on, because nowadays situations changed, right? We don't know. So whatever I asked you, like from now on, start preparing the subjects, whatever you studied in the previous sense, whether it's data structure. First of all, like go for the aptitude. Okay, you practice aptitude, reasoning, and English. So that is very important for clearing the first round. Start from now in 1 year, because the speed is, because maybe you know the things, but speed is also important, right? So learn that, you practice that much, how much like at least devote 1 hour daily to that aptitude part, and then you can go for the other subjects, like any subjects you like. Data structure, now people will ask on data structure is there, RDBMS. Take these two subjects and operating system. These three subjects you take, and then just understand the concepts. Okay, and anyone like normal language, maybe you can go for Python, and they will ask you to code. You can go for C also, but they are the main problem with C. They sometimes they say whenever you sit for like normal placement, it's okay, but for C they will say it's an obsolete language. So that's the thing. But you people have studied Python, so I think Python will be easy. So try to study new like all the libraries in Python, like the NumPy and everything. I think you can able to do. You can get a job. So that is the thing. Like from now only prepare, because in seventh sem, what happens? You have lots of placements coming in, plus placement activity, and then you have study pressure, you have project pressure. You think about the future, what will happen after leaving the college. So that is why this is the best time. The third year is the best time to prepare for the project, because nowadays, and you people have the like the opportunity, because you don't have to go to college also. You have the time to do that, right? So you can just follow the practice aptitude, so that you can improve your skills, because the like the major like mass reduction is done on this aptitude part only. Like maybe like if 2000 people appears, like more than 500 people, more than 1500 people are reduced in the first round. Okay, then 400 will go, and they will go for the group discussion and everything. Okay, so make sure you work on the communication skills, then presentation skill. How do you present yourself? Be confident. So let other things are there. Now let's move back to class again. Okay. Dipesh, any more question about the Coursera class like topic?
No, no, ma'am. Thank you.
Uh, but anyways, please. I think this is a month of September. I think Coursera have opened this time from September only. You can register yourself. You people can register any course from NPTEL. Okay, NPTEL is a very
Any other any other such application which is more better than Coursera?
NPTEL. It's the IITN one. I'm writing in the chat. Just check. Okay, just full form. NPTEL courses. Okay, you can in NPTEL. Basically, we have the SWAM courses. SWAM courses, where you can. These courses are basically free, but if you go for the exam, then only you need to register. That's all. And the course fee is very minimal. It's like 1000 rupees. But that, because it's you choose your IIT, okay, based on the course if you want to pursue. So that like university will vary, whether it's IIT Bombay, IIT Guwahati, or IIT Patna. All the IITs, actually IITs conduct the courses separately. Okay, so I think it will be very beneficial, and every week we have to submit the assignments, and very good assignments were held. I would suggest you go for any course, whatever you have, because you people also have to attend the classes. You have various assignments of like the other subjects also. So what I would suggest you that take the subject for like instance, whatever you know right now. Okay, later, or if you feel no, I want to go for something new, then you can go for any like data science if you wish to. If you wish to, then only you can go, but you need to devote the time, because the assignments are not so easy. Okay, and and one more thing, like Coursera, the assignments are not available here. Okay, the assignments for the NPTEL questions are not available, but but you have to solve it by yourself. And for the solving part, you I think I think you people have studied RDBMS, so I would suggest you like to go for this one, RDBMS, because you have studied RDBMS. So first, I think you should go for RDBMS, and then you can follow others. And if you find easy, just enroll in course, right? You don't have to go for exam. Enroll in the courses you enroll for the subjects you wish to appear, and then you will study. You can just have an idea. I know the videos will be very long. If you watch the videos, it will be very long, like around 1 hour 45 minutes. But believe me, these certificates will add a value to to your CV. Why? Because see, every year, like there are many engineering colleges. I'm not sure, like more than I think 220 private colleges overall India. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure about it, but apart from the government colleges or government universities, we have private 220 or something like that. Okay, I'm not sure if it has increased or decreased. Okay, so I'm telling you about 2018 from the 2017 point of view. Okay, so if you want to from those 220 private universities, you can think how many graduates will pass out. Okay, so in our state only, you see, in our on leave about the state, in Guwahati only you find there are so many universities. There is John Downtown, there is John Bosco, there is Royal, there is even Guwahati University, AEC is there. So how many people? I hope like almost like 5,000 BTech pass out, 5,000 people will pass out BTech, including all the branches. And you know, we are in such a branch in CSE. What happens? All people will try in this branch, whether it's mechanical, whether it's civil, all people will try for job. They will sit for placement in the CS companies. We cannot, like we the CS people, we cannot apply for any core companies in civil and mechanical, but other branches students can appear in can they sit for this placement activities, right? And if they can study and they can clear, why can't we? These companies do expect, like being a CSC students, they do expect something more than us, right? So that is why we need to upgrade our skills, and that is why what makes a difference are the certificates, our coding skills. So there should be something extra in your CV to for them to attract, right? So that is the certificates like add the value in that case. And when the certificates are from really like good institutes like NPTEL and like Coursera is also a good one, then obviously that will add value to it. Okay? So you just check the NPTEL. I think that because NPTEL courses were supposed to be open in this time only in September only. So you can just enroll this semester probably, and you can choose the courses whether you want 8 weeks course or whether you want 12. I mean, I think minimum is 4 week. Okay, so you can go for any 4 week course also. We can go for after 8 weeks course also, or 12 weeks. 12 weeks. I'm not sure about the maximum, maybe 24 or something. But it's enough. Like take a course that you can do, you know already, and have an idea. I'm sure you will learn new things. And RDBMS, I'm telling you because RDBMS you have already studied in your third sem. So, and this subject I told you, it's very important from your interview point of view also. Like we will be working in this thing. So if you can just recall, because then it will be benefit for you, and can get certified in it. Okay. So coming back to the technologies and roadmap. Okay, so in technologies, we should make sure that the providers platform and our preferred technologies must align with each other. Okay, and whether this kind of questions, whether the providers cloud architecture standards and services suit your workloads or not, whether it is I told you one step was there in cloud migration, we go for the customizability. So if we should first check whether it matches our requirement or not. If not, then we go for the customization part. So this falls under the technologies, and later we can go for this all the many service providers offers comprehensive migration services and even offer assistance in the assessment and planning. So what happens for when we go for migration, our the people we have may not be so skilled enough. So if we inform them to fill the technical, they can provide us with the staff also who help in filling the who maybe help in filling the gap, bridging that gap. Okay, they will help us in migration also. So these are the things we should have, basically a proper understanding of what is happening in the projects, what technologies we are using, and what the technologies the cloud service provider is using. So that when it maps, then only we should choose. This is one of the criteria, because we like Amazon, we'll go for the Amazon cloud services. We will not go for IBM because we don't like it. It's not so. We should map first whether it matches the requirements of ours. Okay, then only we go for the cloud service providers. Next is service roadmap. So what is the service roadmap means? Basically, we should ask about the provider's roadmap of service development and how they plan to continue like in future. We should ask certain questions, how they like try to expand their business over time. Then does the roadmap fits your needs in the long term, whether your like goals are same or not, your organization's goals and your all these organizations goals and the cloud service providers goals are same or not, because at one time suppose you have had a contract and later on the cloud like you people like went on separate ways, and there will be difference. So we should have a proper understanding of their a proper understanding of their roadmap in the future also. Also, the some important factors we need to consider are commitments to specific technologies and interoperability. That is, interoperability means migration of services only, whether it's supported or not, and can whether it can demonstrate similar deployments to the one we are planning to. So, see, it's how no matter how good a service provider is, but if it does not matches our requirements, then it is of no use. So, for example, we have like for the software as a service providers, um, service and integration. Okay, just wait. Is it waiting? Okay. For service like software as a service providers or SaaS providers, like feature, service, and integration roadmap is basically highly desirable. So, depending on your the particular cloud strategy, you must want to evaluate the overall portfolio of the services, like which services it provides, how it works, everything. So we have to think like whether whether it's good to use it as separate best for single services, or can it be used for the broad mix of services. So we should go for checking the compatibility of the service. Next third one is the after we have studied about the certification and standards, and then we have technologies and service roadmap, and later we move to the data governance and security. And data manage here first comes the data management. So we should always like we don't think like where our data is being stored, right? We think okay, we have already we should always think that when we go for any service provider, we think of the sensitivity of the data, and we should also take care in what because for any like organization, for any country, there may be various like legal issues or the for privacy rules for putting data in the particular locations may be there. So we should have an idea. We should make sure that obviously we know that we are not in cloud, we are not concerned about like where our data will reside, where will be it will be stored, which in which geographical location. But we because that's the purpose of the cloud service provider. The cloud service provider will take care of it, but we should think of like we should have a like a basic understanding, because it should be transparent. We should have an understanding that what is happening to our data, where it's been kept. So we should have a basic understanding for that also. Okay, otherwise there will be problem. We should not be blindly trust our cloud service provider. That's the thing. So here we like have like we have to look to like we have to understand the clouds providers data loss and breach notification. The breach, like if there is like the contract is breached, right? If you it's broken, so what happens is, and ensure that align with the organization's risk. So all these things we should take into consideration. So this that the CIF code of practice framework has basically some useful guidance to identify the security and all the government's data governance policy. See, whatever I'm saying is already mentioned here. And this part, like I think criteria is nothing to mention. Just you will go through it once, you will understand. Okay, the slides are purely like I have made it on my own already, so it's not a problem. And next, data governance and and information security. So what is information? So ensure that the cloud service providers, level of data and system security, and maturity of system operation and security governance processes. So both of this information security, like all the things, like how where our data is being stored, how much risk is associated with it. So we should take all these things into consideration. So what the users will access it, everything will be thought of it in the information security purpose. So here we have certain standards also, ISO 27000 series, or like recognized certifications. So all these things we should therefore go for, like, although certification standards are there, we should go for the resource allocation. We should check whether budget, headcount to compliance, all these things we should take care of it. Okay. So next we have the service dependencies and partner relationship. So we have this, first is a vendor relationship. Like we know that cloud service providers may have multiple vendor relationships, right? And how they will access the, like, staff certification, technical capabilities, like they need to understand how they support the multi-vendor environments. They can give a good example. See, it's not for an individual, it's not for us. Like we normally use the public cloud, but someone who goes for the private cloud, they're like obviously a huge money is involved, right? So they need to think of certain criteria. It's not like we individual let our data be stored anywhere. We know we are putting in Google Drive, but where it is being stored, how it is being stored, we are not aware of it, right? So here, like, if we are going, so if we are choosing for this software as a service CRM, for instance, so we have to think, like, are there these are the questions we are asked, like, are there existing integration into finance and marketing services, or like for platform as a service also, like, is there a cloud marketplace for which to buy complementary service that are pre-configured to integrate effectively on the same platform. So these were all the about. Then we have the contractors and service dependencies. So all these things come under that data governance only. Okay. So these things I won't discuss. We have this contract, so I won't discuss it today. I think it will be too long, and I know it's a very boring. So we have 8 criteria we'll discuss, because as I told you, right, our syllabus will be over too soon. So, like, till this point, if you have any confusion, this I'll explain in, I think, tomorrow's class, subcontractors and service dependencies. Basically, these are the criteria. When I share the slides, please go through it. You will understand. Okay. Everyone slept?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. I thought you
We are
were
there.
sleeping. Huh? Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm ending the class then.